reference back, that reminds me of something else I wanted to mention.
Let's do it.
So I've been finding new podcasts to listen to. And usually my MO is like, I'll listen to an episode or listen to maybe half hour of an episode. And actually, first off, if I listen to anything and the audio is shit, then I just don't listen to any of the podcast. So I'll listen to a little bit. And then if I kind of like the host or the hosts, I'll go back and listen to their first episode. And I've done that recently with 2 podcasts. And these people, these shows, they've gone back and redone their first episodes. So like, imagine, because a lot of podcasts will do an introductory episode where they'll do like a short 10-minute or 15-minute long episode of like, this is the podcast, this is what it's going to be, this is what you can expect, we're so excited. And that's quote unquote kind of their first episode.
I've seen that a few times,
right?
yeah.
So they'll either go back and redo that.
Okay.
Or they'll go back and do one of those to start with.
Okay.
And I was thinking about it. And the reason they do it is because everybody sucks when they start podcasting. Like your audio usually sucks. You don't know what the fuck you're doing unless you have money and a sound engineer and a studio and all this kind of stuff. Like you just progressively get better at podcasting. So they're going back and redoing their first episodes, sometimes more than just the first episode, so that when people find their show and then go back and listen to those episodes, it's kind of the same quality, so that it sounds like they're actually professional podcasters instead of amateurs that are talking into their iPhones.
Okay.
Right? So I was thinking about that, and I was super judgy. I got my judge pants on, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of, you know, changing the past and making it seem like it was something that it isn't. Like, I understand it from like a standpoint of wanting to sound like a legitimate podcast and wanting to like, because a lot of people use their podcasts as ways to push their own platforms of whatever they're doing, right? So I understand it from that perspective, but at the same time, I'm like, come on, like that's the problem, right? Everybody wants to use filters on their fucking photos, and everybody wants to make things seem better than they really are in reality. Like in reality, when you start a podcast, it's not very good at the very beginning, and the audio usually is sloppy, and you change a whole bunch of things over time because you just get progressively better and better and better. And I was thinking about how different, like if people listen to this episode, or maybe they listened to last week's episode 213, shame, go listen to that episode, or any of the other episodes within the last year and a half to 2 years. And then they go back and listen to episode 1. It's a completely different fucking show. So different.
10, 20.
First like 75 to 100 episodes are so much different than everything else. And I think for us to go back and change that, or like imagine if we recorded an episode and then went and put it in at the very beginning, and it was like, hi.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can.
That's so weird.
Isn't that weird?
I think it's weird.
Yeah, I think it's weird too.
Like, I don't think you should do that, but like, I don't know. Obviously, they do it for a reason.
Because they're trying to pretend like there's something that they're not.
Yeah. I don't.
We're pretty real here on this
so.
podcast.
Like, I want to tell you no to your text. I tried. I thought about it.
Oh, you've decided we're not talking about the topic that I texted you?
At least not now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you
Do
came
you think
up.
it was going to fit in this episode, by the way?
I think it'll fit anywhere. Any episode. Anywhere we can decide to talk about that.
Yeah, you're right. It's not going to be this one.
But if you're listening to this episode now and you're liking this, you're like, God, these people are kind of fun and they're funny, and I like how they communicate with each other and the way that they talk about stuff, and you've listened to a couple of our episodes, you definitely can go back to the very beginning. You don't have to, right? It's not an episodic type thing where you have to listen to every episode. We bounce the fuck around, not just from episode to episode, but within episodes. So you don't have to listen in order. You can pick and choose, which is nice. And if you decide you want to go back and listen to everything, please do. But please know that it's vastly different over time. And the podcast has evolved just as you and I have. Right?
Sorry.
Right, Sleepy Magoo. So